Good morning, Warriors. Hope you guys are doing well today. This is Vigor Warriors 2, and it's great to be with you. I believe this is March 25th, 2022, and we are going to have a little bit of discussion here in the morning. First, I'm going to give out a bunch of shout-outs because I got a bunch of nice comments and contributions, emails, and please continue doing that. We get a lot of comments and likes, subscriptions. Please continue doing that, and I appreciate all the great contributions that people make to try to set up questions and everything. So certainly, if I get these names wrong, please forgive me. But Tekkengodjets, Tekkengodjets. So thank you for your great comments. I appreciate that. I'll comment on those in a second. Chimbu, thank you as well. I hope I got that one right. And also Harold and Deck, some great comments, and we'll kind of focus on all these comments that you guys were kind of talking about. And please continue to send different notes and ideas. I appreciate different types of things that we can kind of focus on. I still got to get back to the Fountain of Youth. Maybe I'll do that over the weekend and do one on the Fountain of Youth as well. So a number of different things. I think Dex was talking about that it's almost like that you have this energy stored in. And I think there was a couple comments on this, that you're like an energy bank, and I agree with that. I think that when you're talking about retention and you're talking about keeping your energy, it's almost like a bank, savings and withdrawals and things like that, deposits, withdrawals, things like that. And every day that you continue to keep your energy, you're keeping the deposits, the money in the bank. And basically when you let it go, you're letting it go for a specific reason because you need something. And so if you're going to have children, or maybe, I guess in the other case scenario, if you have somebody who is, your wife or someone who's very close to you, and you decide to do that, that certainly is your choice. But I think you always have to remember that you're talking really about energy, and it's almost like a bank. So it's really a good analogy you guys are making between the, your savings and how much you're saving, and your deposits, which grow every day. So once you go through a couple of days of not giving energy, you're going to have that sort of built-in interest, built-in principal inside your bank, and it's going to continue growing. And so the interest off of your savings or your money you have is basically going to grow because of all the energy's benefits. And I think you guys make a very good point as we talk about this, that it is very crucial to understand this point of view. And I love this analogy now that I'm thinking about this more. It's a really good analogy. So thank you, all you guys talking about the kind of same principle here. The fact that you're saving the energy, you're kind of saving this in almost like your bank, and it's growing and growing and growing. And obviously if you withdraw it too many times, you're going to get overdrawn. It's a perfect analogy to what we're talking about. And so you want to continue to keep your energy, and you don't want to be overdrawn, because then, you eventually lose your bank account, right? At some point, if you don't continue to fill it back up, the bank is going to say, no more bank account here at our bank. So this is what you don't want to do. And so the energy is a really good analogy. The fact that you want to keep your energy, that you want to continue to let it grow in interest and all the benefits, which is important. And so we go back to what Deck was saying, and he had a good comment as well, that as the energy grows, you now get the benefits, and this is why people stare at you. Now this still continues after, and I think I'm at 183 days of monk mode. I think I double checked that yesterday, and probably around 660 or 670 on my NoFap, and I still get all kinds of stares. I have to kind of do a double take myself to see if the person's actually looking at me, because I'm not always sure, right? But they are, because there's nobody behind me, and so who else are they looking at? And it's kind of like they, even when they see it, they don't always change and look away and things like that. It's almost like that they're focused, and I don't really tell that, because for me, I feel different, yes, but I've been this way for 600 and some 60, 70 days now. So to me, I don't really kind of notice it as much. that's the part that I think when we talk about this, that you don't really notice as much because you're living in that body every day. And now you've gotten used to, especially after the first 90 days, 60 days, 30 days, now you're getting used to this new you. But other people still see the aura, the energy around you. So I think that's a great comment, talking about the deck, talking about that idea of saying, okay, let's go ahead and look at this energy. This is a ball of energy sitting there, and I don't notice it. So what happens with a lot of women, we talked about this with attraction yesterday, women especially, but I noticed it with men as well, it's almost like they have not seen this type of energy. Now, once again, guys, we go back to the whole idea that we appear to be what we're looking at, and we really think reality is what we see. And you can just see, with propaganda, fake stuff all over the place, most of what we see is not really true. It's like an illusion, because people have an ulterior motive in trying to get you persuaded. Anytime you see persuasion, people want you to buy something, or they want you to get involved in something. There's an ulterior motive, and people do have that. Now, that's not always good or bad. It just depends on the situation. But they're always trying to get you. So you have to realize they're trying to attract you. They're trying to sell themselves to you. And you have to kind of believe that, everything you see is not going to be real. And so when you look at this type of situation, people are trying to get you to buy something. And so you have to kind of realize that you got to be very careful with what you're withdrawing from that bank of yours, right? And so what you got to look at, you got to say to yourself, how am I going to really be able to kind of keep that energy inside the bank and be able to not lose that anytime I want to, even though people are staring at you? It's an attractive thing. And if you're, wanting to have a partner, you can find somebody that way pretty easily because people are looking at you. They're attracted to you. Now, what you do with it is up to you. Now, in my case, like I said, I'm happy with my marriage. I'm happy with my wife. Everything is wonderful. There's no need. I was never going to get divorced anyway. And I have kids, and so all this is good. So I'm in a perfect spot to say, okay, this is nice, very flattering, but I'm time to move on, right? I'm not really interested in that. I'm interested in achieving goals and doing other types of things with all this energy that I have. And so I redirect it. So anytime I get any sort of, notion or excitement with it, I end up trying to go with deep breathing, meditation, and focusing my attention on my goals instead of that idea that is in the top of my head or going over me and what I should be thinking about. And that's happened to me several times over the last, few months, that I would get these type of thoughts and ideas, and I would have to forcibly try to move myself away from it. Now, it becomes easier as you get older. Not older. It's easier as you get longer in the streak, because you're able to control things a little bit better. You realize this is not something that's a habit. Now you're forming a different habit, and that's important. So when we talk about this, these are the two ideas that I really kind of want to concentrate on as we're talking about this. This idea that energy is something that's abound. We live in a world of energy, as you guys are all saying. Harold and everybody is talking about. We're living in a world of energy. There's no doubt about that. And so people stare at us because our energy is being kept intact. We have our superpowers. Now, you may look at it as superpower is an interesting word, because really what it is really your own natural powers. They're just coming to the forefront because you really don't have, you're depleting yourself. Now, I'm talking most people, right? They're depleting themselves, right? And so because most people deplete themselves, these powers look like they're superhero powers. See, it's all a matter of perspective. And so as you do this more, you become more accustomed to the norm where people used to be, and hopefully people will go back to it, and they're used to living a life where this is not something that is, that important. Sex, intercourse. I mean, for population growth and things like that, that's one thing. You're going to do that. But the idea of sex and pleasure and all this kind of stuff is where the problem is. People get intoxicated with this idea of pleasure. And from a visual pleasure standpoint, they get intoxicated by pictures or even a live person in front of them, right? And what ends up happening then is that they end up succumbing to that. Now, pictures are actually more dangerous than the person, because once you're with the person, then you realize all the faults that person has, even the way they look, right? You ever see a person without makeup? You know what I'm talking about, right? I've seen people actually get divorced once they see the person without makeup. Incredible, right? But the thing is, when you look at pictures, they're pictures, right? They're made up, photoshopped, all kinds of stuff. They look good. They're attracting you. But the idea then is that you're releasing energy because of that, and you're losing yourself. And you do this more and more often, now you're really getting into really very dangerous, slippery slope. And now you get back to what I was dealing with 45 years. So the thing is, you got to stay away from anything like that. Start building in a pattern of making all kinds of deposits within your bank. I just love that thing. So guys, you are wonderful. That's a great analogy there with the bank. I love it. But you're going to get to the point where you're going to have to make deposits enough so that even if you do relapse, you basically have a chance to say, okay, I made a withdrawal, maybe I shouldn't have. It's almost like buying something that you felt like, well, I bought it, but I really didn't like it. And you made a mistake. We all do that, right? We all buy things that we don't like. So in a sense, if you do happen to release, well, that happens. But in the meantime, you're building up all your principal within your bank, and then you're living on your interest, which is the way you should build wealth. And so the idea then is you're kind of breaking this energy and saying, okay, I'm going to keep building this energy to the point in which I'm going to really be able to, be strong and really have a strong, we talk about the bank and financial situation. I'm talking about bank with the energy situation, right? You're going to have a strong foundation for yourself. You're going to become stronger day by day, and you're going to continue to grow. And I think this is the key. Now, the myth we've talked about all this time is that people they'll tell you, almost like the evil one tells you, that this is all a farce or a myth, though people have been doing it for years. It's a myth of any sort of celibacy. Why do you think that in a pure sense? Now, I'm not talking about, corrupt types of things throughout the, and I'm Catholic, but, the corruptness of the Roman Catholic Church, which came out of the Roman Empire, all those years. I'm not talking about those people. If you got people who really over the years, and there's been a bunch of them, who really sincerely believe in celibacy, they work with the church, those people really are very powerful. You can really kind of call upon your God, your creator, if you have that sort of foundation. But it has to be real. You can't be just, corrupt in how you are and behave any way you want to and lose that energy. But the thing is that if you are a strong person and you're going to have that energy, you're going to go ahead and be able to really be very powerful. And this is where the kind of the positive types of energy comes in. But I love the analogy, and I think I'm going to continue to use it if you guys don't mind. I think it's wonderful. Thank you guys so much. I want to thank all four of, a shout out to once again all four. I hope I'm getting his name right, but Tekkengodjets. So thank you. Thank you, Chimbu. I believe that as well. Thank you so much for that. And of course, Deck, and of course, Harold. Thank you guys so much for a great contribution today. And you guys have a great day. I will try to do one this weekend on the Fountain of Youth, because I'm not sure if it was Dexter or Harold, but somebody asked me about the exercises, and maybe it was somebody else, so I apologize if it was. But I will do one on that over the weekend, and so you guys then are able to kind of see some of the exercises that I've done. I've done a video before on it, but I think it's always good to go back to it and talk about it. I love talking about these type of things because it has impacted me a lot over the years, and I think since 1998 I've done these exercises and I've gotten great benefits from it. I didn't get the full benefits because the last rite, they call them rites, of the exercises, the sixth one, really dealt with having celibacy and not having sex and transmuting that energy. Now, they didn't say this in those many words within that, but that's kind of what I've now come realize, that really you're talking about, transmuting and retaining. And now that I've since been doing that for the last 2 years, the benefits are just incredible, and they continue to be. So sticking with it, sticking with exercises, sticking with the retention, sticking with meditation, those things I just think are phenomenal, and they just put you in a whole different state of mind. And instead of being depressed and anxiety like I used to be, it just has, tremendous confidence and tremendous connection with the world, because you are keeping all your nutrients. You're being really strong when it comes to your bank. You're financially sound and your energy sound. So I love it. Love it, guys. Great job today. Have a great day. God bless you guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.